Carl and Lou here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for sure. And it is track by track as we're going back to the heady days of new metal. It is the debut album by Adema. Rock, new metal, they fall under a few different things. You listen to it, you hear new metal, but you can also hear alternative in it and so on and so forth. Released August 21st, 2001 through Aristia Records and did pretty well. Peaked at number 27 on the Billboard 200. Certified gold by the RIAA in 2002 for selling over 500,000 copies, and has since, as of time recording, sold over 1 million copies worldwide. I remember Adema. I remember hearing the name at the time. But at this stage, I was not... Like, the new metal phase had gone for me. We're talking about early 2000s. I am about, at this point, I think I'm about a year away from finding black metal, like finding my feet in the world of black metal and aspects like that. So I never listened to Adema. No. I'd never listened to it. I might have heard a track or here or there, maybe on TV and so on, but I didn't remember it.
The songs they had out, they smashed on MTV.
I don't remember anything. That's the thing. Like, I really don't.
Yeah, oh God, because the videos were very sort of muted colours, all very like worries me kind of shit. So yeah, it was.
So you're more familiar with this band?
I know 2 songs.
Right, 2 songs. What, are any of them on this?
Yeah, both of them.
All right, both of them are on this.
They've only got 3 albums in total out.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Spotify,
It's a brief little one, isn't it?
So this was their paycheck for quite a while then.
They've done a write-off it, and more power to them. Congratulations on the success of this record and so on. But, you know, track by track's all about honesty. This is one of the worst things I've heard in a very long time. This was near torture by the end. You know, it was tempting to do something we've never done to date and just be like, we're stopping here because this is absolutely horrendous. But that's not fair. No. It's not fair in the band. It's also, you know, it would make us look like shitheads, really, because who knows? The last couple of tracks might be bangers and you might find something you like and stuff like that. So we have gone through it, and that's what we're about to do now. But I'll warn you, this ain't going to be that positive.
No.
But, you know, there are things to say. So we begin with Everyone. There's some vigorous riffs here, but I'm getting a certain blandness that comes from a lot of later year new metal releases. I am not a fan of the vocals. They work better when the instruments are going that little bit heavier because I don't have to listen to them as clearly. But man, oh man, straight away I was like, I found it bland. I didn't like the vocals. Not a great start for me.
So not good start. Generic formula that all new metal bands followed, it seems. It's
this is later era new metal, and it's part of the reason why that sort of the height of that genre was done by this stage. Yeah. Because this is what we were getting.
Burnt out.
Yeah. Lazy.
No hook. It sounds like he's leaning into the front man is related to Jonathan Davis.
Oh God, don't we'll get into that.
And it feels like he's really kind of emulating that and trying to put that on, and it's like, yeah. You
know, we'll say it now, I'll warn you now, there was a point in this album coming up quite soon where I went, wait, what the fuck is this? Like, that's how blatant I thought it was. I went looking into it because I was so like, they have not been able to get away with this, and that's why I discovered that, and I was like, that still doesn't excuse it. No. Just because you're related to Jonathan Davis does not mean you get to rip them. I mean, Jesus. Yeah. Outrageous. Yeah. Blow It Away. I reckon this might have been one of the bigger tracks from the album.
It's not one of the singles. No.
Oh, really? Well, I thought because it has a heavy rock radio friendliness to it, blended with weird effects that make me think of a lesser Korn. And just enough bite to make it sound more intense. It's not exactly special, but there's worse in this album. Oof.
I thought this track sounds just like the first. Nothing grabs your interest. Very dated. It even ends flatly. I'm like, that's it. I'm done.
There are things I have to always try and find some positivities, and I think this is one of the better songs on a pretty bog standard, below average album. Given in, this one has some decent groove and some nice melodies. Even the vocals are much more palatable here. I like the vibes it has, but the chorus is underwhelming. Still, I'm okay with this one.
This is the single.
Right, okay.
With a video that I heard a lot. The intro does sound a bit deeper. The feedback on this makes it sound a bit grungier. I like a bit of guitar solo, just get a bit of interest. very heavy corn vibes on certain lines that he sings, but not the worst.
Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, this is okay. Oh, I didn't know that was a single, but there you go. Freaking out. I really don't like the effects and the rapping that comes in this track. It sounds so poor, and this is up there one of the most forgettable efforts on an album filled with a ton of forgettable efforts.
It's playing new metal bingo, so he ticked off the rap singing.
I couldn't believe when that happened. I was like, oh, come on.
I said, oh, we're on rap singing now. Very uninspiring and fillery. The only thing I enjoyed was the bassy drums in an early section. There was a bit, it was a bit chunkier, but that was it. So.
Fair enough. Up to the way you like it. Okay, let me try to come up with something positive about this track. It's got rhythm that you can groove to. Even if it's going to be extremely half-hearted stuff, I don't like this one.
Sometimes I only remember the days when I was young. Nowadays no one remembers when they were young and stupid. The way
Another single.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah, this
really?
Is, yeah.
Oh, I've not chosen this as a single.
It doesn't start well. I kind of found it quite whiny and by the numbers. I couldn't pick these tracks out from any other release. Going back to the whole thing again, like other bands at this time, you couldn't pick it out.
Close friends. So I will admit my writing got a little bit off the wall here. I need saving from this album, and I thought the heavy riffs at the start would mean this track was going to please me, and then it gets into such corn territory that they should be embarrassed. Absolutely embarrassed. The chorus is energetic, but man, the unusual melodies and the vocals feel like such a rip-off. I'm not kind about this one at all.
Another whiny, boring track. I can't pick anything out. I'd rather they have less tracks and make more of them. Because I can do the odd bit where it's a little bit more inspired, but no.
I'd argue there's very little inspiration here as well. So on this next track, Do What You Want to Do. This is pre me knowing the connection, family connection. So I wrote, guys, I know you come from Bakersfield too, because I had discovered they're from Bakersfield, but you could have at least tried to do something different. I fucking hate this band, and this track is pants. Pure laziness, a pathetic attempt to ride the coattails of corn, and failing to spark anything but a meh reaction from me. So I am reaching my angry stages now, because to me, I was like, this is outrageous. And afterwards, knowing the family connection does not make it any better.
No.
That does not excuse it.
No. Again, dull. The only thing I liked was a twangy guitar effect, and it was short. But that's not a great review. Like, you shouldn't be going, oh yeah, I can pick out one little guitar effect.
It's something, I suppose, more than anything else. Okay, let's move on to Skin. What horrors are next? Well, to be fair, this is different, and it goes for a more trippy and melodic soundscape, and I'm intrigued. The bursts of heavier intensity almost lose my interest, but there's just enough vigour to make me not dislike this one.
too much. It all revolves around you.
I thought it was going to be an instrumental way it started.
Okay, that would have been nice, yeah.
I was like, that's the only thing they didn't do. They didn't do that new metal trope. It was an instrumental.
There's a second trope they didn't do, which is the whole, here's a 20-minute last track, and it's got a hidden track on it.
I didn't even get the full line then. The lyrics are so predictable. It's the same backing track. It's the same formula. And the extra spoken bit at the end was really not needed.
Okay.
I was like, no.
Pain Inside. Okay, I really don't care for the vocals, and this track's weirdo effects don't do much for me. I was bored with it in a minute, even if the chorus isn't the worst.
I put a dull start, and this sounds childish even for new metal. Like the things that how they put songs together. I'm like, wow.
I don't think I know like talent doesn't equal sales, but this is a shocking one.
And not even any heavy riffs to make it interesting, or I can pick up that little bit that I liked. So yeah.
Let's get through it. Speculum. A bit dramatic, some nice melody, and a punchy chorus that you could sing along to. There you go.
I put no. So these guys are switched off now. I just no.
There you go. I had something positive to say. Okay, Drowning. I'm more than happy to call it here. This is where I was generally considering doing it. But Adema, keep going on. Like, generally, the other thing I thought was this album is too long. Here we get a noisy blast of heavy energy that does the drop in the rock melody and back up for the chorus. Bog standard stuff. I didn't care. No. I just I don't. Here's the thing: is this is to me the worst track of all. One of the worst tracks because I could not even elect any passion about hating it. It's like, ugh.
Yeah. put what we really need now is an annoying hype man chirping and repeating the cringe lyrics.
Yeah.
I was like, why you got to have someone else saying them back? No, just end it. Just leave it.
And trust the finale. And thank fuck it's the last track. And it's a boring ass finale too. And I just got so lazy. I said, I don't want to talk about this album anymore.
No comment.
That's it. Yeah, no comment.
Final song in this album has been such a slog. The lyrics are so self-pitying. I said, don't ask how his weekend was. Oh, God, it's always like, oh, it's woe is me. But to the nth degree. I think there's one where he moans about other people moaning. I'm like, oh. Yeah, no, not a good way to finish. But yeah, we got there.
We got there indeed. It was a real fucking slog. At best I could say is I think there's one or two tracks that are just okay. But there is, to me, nothing stand out, nothing interesting, nothing catchy, nothing like nothing worth your time. I can't believe this sold as much as it did. And it can just be purely based on the fact that nu metal was selling well no matter what was going on, it seemed, a lot of the bloody time. But like, goodness me, I think this is shocking. And I'm like, wow, this was this big. It's a tough one to even come up with 3.
I did 3 just
Yeah, I've done 3. I've done 3. Of course I've done 3.
Yeah.
You know, I've done 3 because we always do 3. But okay, so the 3 that you think should...
I did. Just, I think more nostalgia thing for me because I did enjoy them back in the day.
See, I don't have that.
No, giving in the way you like it and trust. Trust because it was the last track and we're done.
Okay.
So.
Well, Giving In is the one we do cross over on, but I have Blow It Away and Skin. I think I put Skin in there because at that point I'd just gone through so many bad tracks to hit one that was not like, oh my god, like because I remember my first, like, famously, if you ever watched one of Brennan videos, we've opened up and told you how I and he do our track by tracks. I don't write the end. I write as I go along, based upon what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking at the time. And I opened Skin with What Horrors Are Next. That's my first words I wrote, because that's exactly what I was expecting. Nothing, because they'd proven nothing. And what I got was a little something. There you go.
I have to write as I go along, because if certain things interest me, I'm like, oh, that's a nice thing to listen to. So, yeah. Yeah,
look, it isn't for us. But we'd love to know if this is like a big deal to you, and a big deal outside of nostalgia, because nostalgia can sometimes be blinding. You know, particularly if you grew up with this and you really liked it when you were in your teenage years and so on. You might be like, oh yeah, no, it's banging. Go back and listen to it, perhaps with fresher ears, and then tell me that it's banging and that aspect of things. Or even if you do still think that, I'd love to know why. But don't just come and tell me in the comments that it was a banging album back then. That doesn't work, you know, because there are albums from the 70s and 60s and so on that are still banging today. Yeah. Adema's self-titled debut album. Let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at GBHBL. Just search for GBHBL and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.